How about instead of bickering, we figure out our next move against the Speedster and his allies?
Legion of Doom has a sexual ring to it.
I'm not calling them that.
Is it smaller than a Quinjet?
That's classified. And yes, considerably.
You set out to break my heart. Well, mission accomplished.
Lucifer?
No. No more manipulations. This feud that you have with Father, I refuse to be caught in the middle any longer. I am tired of being a pawn. So no more. I'm done.
Batman Beyond. I have this. You like the Batman Beyond theme? He's jamming out to the Batman Beyond theme.
That's not the Batman Beyond theme. That's the
what is it?
That's Justice League Unlimited.
Unlimited, right?
Please, you just dropped some points on Geek Cred for that.
Yeah. Okay. Here's the deal. I was just finishing editing these, and I almost picked the Batman Beyond theme. So that's why it was in my head.
Yeah, that's all right. This is cool. Yeah, Justice League Unlimited. I always love that theme.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So, hello everyone. Welcome to Fandom Zone episode 91 with a new theme for 2017. He's not sure about the Lucifer clip.
It was a little. It wasn't.
Okay,
the first two grabbed me. I like those.
You like those? Okay.
I think there have been better Lucifer clips.
Okay, I'll try and find.
I like him when he's snarky, not when he's all bitchy. Like
all right. Well, I liked that scene. I thought
it was a good scene. Don't get me wrong.
Sif here. I'm showing him my new Funko.
Sif is cool.
Yeah, she got a shield and everything.
So you got Coulson, you got Sif.
Coulson, Sif, and two different Deadpools. One he's got the two swords, and one he's got a gun and a knife. So
very cool.
I told my husband I wanted both Deadpools.
Very cool.
And then we got some World of Warcraft, which he doesn't care about. Yes, I see. Yeah, these all do that too.
Yep.
They're all bobbleheads. You gotta
be careful that the spring doesn't get bent around.
I know.
So you have to bend it back or bend it all the way around to get it back to where it was.
Right. I have one where the glue came off.
Yeah.
Of the thing, and I have to find a way to glue it back on because now the collector's head has fallen off.
By the way, everybody, Fandom Zone, episode 90.
I said that already. Well, it's 91, and it's part A. We are going to do two parts this week. And in part A, we will be talking about Supergirl episode 10 of season 2, Gotham episode 14 of season 3, and Lucifer episode 13 of season 2.
Very cool. And
so
for
that's
part B, we'll talk about part B of part B.
Correct.
So there you go.
And
what will we talk about in part B? You'll just have to find out.
Well, I mean, you can do the math. It's the same. It's the stuff.
It's the rest. It's just the rest of the shows that were on this week. But
that's right.
But welcome back, Karen.
Thank you.
We missed you.
Yeah,
Jesse and I tried to struggle through without you. I hope we
did great.
I hope we did okay.
You did great.
Even though we said some things you didn't agree with.
No, it's all right. No, you did fine. It's not that I didn't agree with you. I was just like, I had already watched some of the shows from this week.
Yeah. And
stuff had happened that had negated stuff that you had said already.
What?
So, yeah. And then there was stuff that I
that's why they call it speculating.
That maybe I didn't agree with you on. I don't remember what it was. But I can't.
You're supposed to agree with me on everything at all times. That's
how.
No?
That is not how this.
I was hoping.
How long have we been doing this?
Not that long, really. No.
No, long. 3 years.
It hasn't been 3 years.
Since Constantine?
It hasn't been 3 years since Constantine.
You sure? 2 years?
2 years since. Yeah, 2 years since Constantine.
You should check and see.
I will check and see.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, we're coming up on our second anniversary for Fandom Zone.
You sure?
Yeah.
All right.
So it was like 2.5 years at most.
All right. Over 2 years. Anyway, we'll have to find that out because we need to know when our anniversary is of doing a podcast.
So, Supergirl.
Supergirl 210, We Can Be Heroes, which I have no idea if that's a song, but I keep...
Oh, it's actually, it's Heroes, which is by David Bowie. We can be heroes just for one day.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. It's David Bowie. Come on. David Bowie.
Yeah.
David freaking Bowie.
It's not the title of the song. That's what's getting me.
Yeah, well, the title of the song is just Heroes.
Right.
But the line is We Can Be Heroes Just for One Day.
Just for one day. Got it.
Yeah.
All right. So that's the episode we're talking about now, 210.
Yeah, written by Caitlin Parrish and Katie Rose Rogers.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like a Western.
Katie
Rose Rogers.
Rose Rogers.
Directed by Rebecca Johnson. So, chicks everywhere on this one.
Say what? What did you just say?
I said chicks everywhere.
Wow. Wow. Do you require us to dress appropriately?
No.
Okay, good. And
it's a throwback term.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a demeaning term.
No, I don't.
Women call each other chicks all the time.
I don't mind it, actually. I like it more than ma'am.
It's just an old retro term.
Yeah, chicks.
Chicks. All the chicks and the cool cats and all that stuff. Yeah.
Okay, so my story titles are Stepping Up to the Streets, because of that movie Stepping Up to.
Right. That I never watched.
The Streets. I didn't either, but I know the title of it.
Okay. If it doesn't have Electric Boogaloo on the end, I don't care about it.
Well, we can call it Stepping Up to the Streets Electric Boogaloo.
There we go. Yeah, that works.
I like putting Electric Boogaloo at the end of everything. Like that. B story is all sizzle and no steak.
Right. Very nice.
And then C story is my mind to your mind,
nice.
My thoughts to your thoughts.
The old Vulcan mind meld.
That's right. So Stepping Up to the Streets
Yep.
is, of course, the Guardian storyline and the Mon-El storyline. And, and thank you, you guys were talking about his name, because, it bothers me too.
We had a little rant about that last time.
And I'm glad that Jesse also feels the same way. Although I was very upset to hear that he doesn't listen regularly to our podcast, because, hello.
I know. I admonished him for that.
Yes, I heard that.
Okay, so I'm just like, dude, not cool.
Right?
Got to help us out here.
He wants to guest on it.
Exactly. But, He doesn't want to do the work.
Right.
He just
got to do the work.
He wants the glory. He doesn't want to do the work behind it.
That's right. No, it's all right. I don't mind. He's busy.
All the glory of this non-paid service.
Yeah. You get your money's worth.
Exactly. You get what you pay for. Nothing.
Yeah. So we get Mon-El training with Kara, and he's doing a great job, except when he takes his accolades, Kara points out that perhaps he has gotten some collateral damage in the mix. There's, a little girl has lost her head during the simulation.
Yeah. It doesn't quite, it's not
perfect.
Yeah. It's got issues.
And that's mirrored later on when he goes to help Kara in a real life situation against not Livewire, but her clone things that this professor has made. And he leaves the policeman to help Kara.
Frankenwire.
Thank you, Frankenwires.
You like that?
Yeah, there's two of them.
Yep.
Oh, the doctor is Frankenwire, and they're Frankenwire monsters.
Yeah, the Frankenwire monsters, yeah.
Okay, so he...
Or should that be Frankenwire? No, that's Blucher.
I know. I was just
Okay.
doing a line
Sorry,
from
young Frankenstein was in my
Yeah.
mind. Okay.
I like it. So yeah, he's helping Kara. Kara is focused on stopping the people with powers, and he is protecting the police with a car door, which is effective. But now they're behind an entire car,
Mm-hmm.
which I would think would protect them more, right?
Generally, yeah.
And he decides he's going to drop the car door and go and help Kara instead, who is losing.
Right.
So that would be my instinct as well, right?
She needs the help, apparently.
Right. So he does what I would do, and she admonishes him because in the meantime,
He ignores all the innocent bystanders.
right,
Right.
one of the policemen is hurt, and that it's a mirror of the. But all in all, I think it was a better outcome than him just standing by and watching, because the Guardian does show up and helps.
Right. Now, can we talk for a minute, though, real quick? Mon-El's costume.
What the black biker outfit?
Yeah, what the hell were they thinking with this?
It's his real costume.
I would hope not, because
I think they just threw something together so that.
I hope that's not his permanent costume.
Yeah, no, it's not.
I hope not. Okay.
It's not. They didn't mention
because he's got these like yellow
actually...
glasses on, and what's up with that?
I don't really think it's his costume. I think he just put on something.
Is he Bono? Does he have some issue with his eyes that he needs these glasses?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I just think he went out in that. They did mention cosplay, remember? So I just think he threw on something to make himself look cooler.
Okay, so that was his idea of a costume,
right?
Okay, because they had Wynn talking about, well, I got to put together a costume for you,
right?
So I thought that was the costume Wynn put together for him.
No,
okay, all right,
can't be right.
I hope not. It's sometimes Supergirl does some wonky stuff.
Yeah, but I don't think that's it.
I hope not.
Why would he get sunglasses for him?
I don't know.
I don't think he would.
I don't know. This is the same people that call Mon-El instead of his name Largand.
Here's my thought. Why would he put sunglasses on him when one of his powers is to have like laser vision thing? I mean, Wynn would know that, right?
Yeah. Well, maybe.
I would assume so.
I would hope so, too.
He would tailor his outfit to go along with his power. And Mon wouldn't. Mon would just throw on whatever he thinks looks cool.
Right.
So I'm guessing.
Okay, well, let's hope you're right.
Yeah, let's hope so. Although he looked good.
It just bugged me.
I am having a big time cougar crush on him, on Chris Wood.
Oh, yeah?
He is very funny. First of all, I like the deadpan humor of him. Like when Livewire says, okay, the cosplay is not good or whatever. And he goes, that's hurtful. Like that. I like that. It makes me laugh out loud when he's just very, deadpan funny. That's hurtful. I do. I like that. And the vulnerability right now with him. I'm not a big fan of the angst though, with the CW-ness.
Yeah, that's a lot. There could be said a lot for that. Yeah.
Yeah. Now it's like triple fold in this season of Supergirl, or more, because of James and Mon-El and Kara with their whole, oh, I can't be your friend anymore because you're the Guardian. Oh, and then James, you can't tell me what to do.
That was kind of one of my problems with this week. Kara seemed to be like, I don't know, just wanting to tell everybody how to be a hero.
Right.
Like all of a sudden, I'm the big expert. It's only my second season of the TV show, but I'm the big superhero expert.
Well, okay. To be fair, I think a lot of that was her not wanting Jimmy to get hurt.
Right.
James, don't call me Jimmy.
Yeah.
So I don't think that was her trying to judge anyone. I think that was her.
But it came off pretty judgy.
It did. I agree with you. It came off judgy, but I think she was just in denial and saying she didn't want James to get hurt.
Especially with her whole deal at the end where she says, well, I guess I'll just, I'm not going to stop you from being the Guardian, but I can't support it.
Right. We can't work together.
We can't work. So
right.
I guess we're kind of done.
Right.
And I'm like, what?
That's stupid.
What's up? That is stupid.
He's going to do it anyway. You might as well stick around and help him.
Yeah. Why don't you stay on good terms and not get him killed?
Right.
Yeah.
Because if you help him, perhaps he has a better chance. Yeah. So that's going to make an even bigger angsty issue with him. And then I think with Mon-El, it's because she was put in charge of his training. So that's why she feels protective of him and how his training is coming along. And that just happens to be mirrory with James's story. But that whole angsty bit where she's like, do you like me? That part it felt like she was passing notes in school.
Right.
Is that why you're doing
Do you
this?
like me? Here's a check this box. Yes, no,
maybe. Yeah. Ugh. And then at the end when he shows up at her house and he's like, well, yes, I had those feelings. Now, I have to say there was a little part of me, the girly part of me, that was like the speech, especially the part where he said, when I was dying and I looked up and I saw those clear blue eyes and I thought, well, it was okay to die when, because of you or whatever.
He was laying it on pretty thick there.
That little speech, well, I have to say the words were very pitter-pattery. Yes.
Yeah.
They were. But
he's so dreamy.
Yeah. But
yeah.
It was something that is not necessary in Supergirl. That's one of my things is it's Supergirl.
I think their rationale for this, and this is just me speculating, the writers, I think they think that Supergirl caters to a female audience, so therefore they need to push the romance.
I guess so, but they do it in all their shows.
I agree. This is definitely a CW thing. I mean,
right.
This whole sequence wouldn't like all you needed to say was like next on Riverdale,
or make it Iris and Barry.
Yeah,
or,
exactly.
I mean, it's any of those shows.
Interchangeable heroes and love interests. Yes.
Right. They do the same thing on all their shows, and I get it. I mean, I'm sure they're told they have to do things like they have to put something like this, and at least it's characters I care about. I mean, I like Mon-El, I like Kara, and I don't mind if they want to get together, but I don't think it's necessary. And I think it's way too angsty.
Yeah.
With this, on again, off again. Do you like me? Do you not like me?
And when you have 4 superhero shows on the CW doing it,
right?
It's very repetitive.
Right. And they're adults. So if they want to be together, it shouldn't be this kiddie junior high. Do you like me? Do you not like me? I don't want to admit to it. Dude, kiss her.
They're not in high school.
You're an adult.
They're not in high school anymore. They're in their 20s or
right.
higher.
Right.
Be
an adult.
Yeah.
Tell her you like her and you want to go out. Like an adult.
Yeah.
And Kara didn't have to just sit there silent. She could have said, well, if you like me, just ask me out.
Right.
Right? Okay. So that's part of it. I mean, at least Alex had the courage to go and say to Maggie, I want to go out with you. I want to take a chance on this. So that part of the storyline, I kind of dig. Her storyline was great. They had courage and there wasn't a lot of angstiness behind all that. So that's all that story. And then, of course, the Livewire story was pretty good. I wasn't expecting her to be the victim.
Yep. Yeah, that was a nice twist. I agree. With the return of Britt Morgan as Livewire.
Mm-hmm. Whom I love.
Yeah, I've liked her since Debbie Pelt on True Blood.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Where she was crazy.
Yeah, she was insane on that.
Cray.
Yeah. I love her delivery of any line. It's just she has so much power behind every line.
She chews that scenery for
She
every
does.
bit that it's worth.
She does. She's great. And when she was talking to, is his name Julian Sands? Is that the guy who was? No, that's not his name.
The actor, that's an actor's name.
Yeah, I'm talking about the actor who plays Frankenwire.
I don't know who the actor was.
No, it's not Julian. Julian Sands is like the adult
Julian
movie
Sands
star.
actually played Zor-El, I believe, on Smallville.
Yeah. He's the movie star version of this guy.
Yeah. The guy.
I can't remember this guy's name. He's on a lot of stuff. But when she was talking to this guy, the Frankenwire dude.
You like that nickname, don't you?
I love it. I don't care what his name is.
You can use it on the other Supergirl podcast if you want.
Can I, Frankenwire?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Awesome. I'll do it.
I give you permission.
And I will give you credit, 100%. You know I do give you credit on that.
I appreciate that.
And every time we talk about Mon-El being the prince on there, I give you 100% credit on there.
Well, I appreciate
100%.
that. Thank you.
I say I agree with him, but it was Charles' idea. I say it every time.
I believe you.
So anyway, okay, so she's talking to the Frankenwire dude, and she's baiting him all the time because she's hoping that maybe he'll, screw up and give her an opening. And there's a lot of weirdness that happens there between the two of them. And while they're both talking, I love this when they're acting against each other. It is so hammy.
Yeah.
Those two actors, it's so great. He's got her on the table, and they're both just. He's got he looks like Dr. Horrible. Doesn't he?
Yeah, with the lab coat and the goggles. Yeah, you're right.
And it's almost like he's got the lab with the zappy thing in the back. And he's got the tilty
my freeze
table.
ray.
Yeah, right. Yep. It was interesting to see the interplay between those two. And then when people come in, he's like, that scientists usually experiment on themselves.
Yeah, well, he went the total, I'm a crazy mad scientist riff.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And of course, once he and his minions have been defeated, Livewire goes about her merry way because Supergirl has saved her.
Yeah, they get a little team up.
They do.
I'm reluctant. And Supergirl kind of all right, I'll let it slide.
Right, because you were the victim this time.
You go cop a walk.
That's right. Even though she was in prison before this.
Well, and everybody else should be just like Supergirl. She was supposed to, we have these laws, and she's supposed to be in prison.
To still be in prison, right.
And they're like, and you let her go.
Right.
So, therefore, we're going to arrest you because that's kind of illegal.
Obstruction of justice or whatever the... Yeah. Aiding and abetting.
Right. But because... I don't know, something like that. But it's just another big hand wave and just...
Right.
I think, and this is what frustrates a lot of people that watch the Netflix shows that Marvel does, where there's actual consequences to things.
Yeah.
And, and then we have the CW with the romance and then the just complete disregard for sense and legal procedure.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, there is chemistry and romance on those shows, too, but it's not like this angsty.
They're grown-up romance as opposed to high school romance.
Right. I met you at a bar and we're going to go home and
I think that's kind of reflected in the ratings on the CW shows right now because a lot of them are tanking in the ratings right now.
Mm-hmm.
Arrow is, Supergirl's fractional now.
Yeah.
So, it's, I think
now, mind you, I mean, it's CW, so.
I agree, but, that they should be doing better.
They could ramp it up. They could.
They could. But
go a little more adult.
I think they're
and I'm not talking about
I think they're afraid to. They're like, oh, we got to cater to this teen audience.
No, you don't.
You don't, because that's not how you're not going to grow your network.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree 100%. I agree 100%.
Right.
I want it to be
I
grown
want
up.
the DC Netflix shows.
Exactly. I do. I would like this to be Justice League Dark. By the way, we need to talk about that.
Oh,
Have you watched it?
I haven't watched it yet. I'm getting it.
Oh.
I'm getting it Tuesday on Blu-ray.
Oh, good.
Well, it's Matt Ryan doing Constantine.
It's so good.
Maybe we ought to do a Dangerous Habits.
Yes, can we do that? Can we do?
Hey, Rob, I know we kind of like closed the
No,
show.
it doesn't have to be in that feed.
Yeah.
It could be in our feed, but we need to do that.
Okay.
So anyway,
What is this bizarre segue?
Yeah. Welcome back, Blaine.
but let's do that.
All right. So let's finish this up.
Yeah.
My mind to your mind.
Yeah, that's my mind to your mind. We have Magan is being overtaken in her mind by something, and we're gonna learn more about that next week. By the way,
Right. But basically, she's having this big mental breakdown,
right?
and so reluctant.
Hyperman.
Yeah. So reluctantly, Jean is brought in to help her out.
My cats are playing with the door springy thing.
Okay.
Sorry. I keep hearing this.
See, I can't hear it. So.
It's very distracting. I'm sorry.
Okay. It's just like this shiny little keys, dangling the keys in front of Karen.
It's not that it's hard for me to hear you when I'm hearing this.
Okay.
Really loud.
I kind of hear it. I heard that one.
See?
Okay. All right. So anyway, where was I? I forget. But Monel or Jean is reluctantly brought in to help Megan.
Right, and Alex is guilt tripping him because he says she's a war criminal, even though she explained that she was trying to help the Green Martians, that she rebelled and tried to help the Green Martians. And she says, when you needed help, even though she thought she would probably be exposed, she opened up a vein and gave you her blood. And he's just so guilted into helping. He does this mind transfer thing with her. And I think part of it was he didn't want her to know about his past, that, a white Martian invading his own past was abhorrent to him. So that was a big stumbling block. And knowing that she had helped his people when they were in trouble helped a lot. So they ended up meeting in her brain, and he became a lot more sympathetic to her.
Accepting, yeah. Like, so
Right.
that when he brings her out of it, they've actually kind of patched things up.
Right. There's a huge truce there now. Right. And
I think he understands her better. Mm-hmm. So he's not as harsh and judgmental, unlike
right.
Supergirl.
Right.
Just saying.
Yeah, it's like they've all traded places.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So then, wait a couple weeks and they'll trade places again.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
And you can read the Justice League of America Volume 1 if you want to learn about next week's episode. What is it?
The White Martians? You mean JLA?
Oh, yeah. JLA, Volume 1 by Grant Morrison and Howard Porter.
Yep. Yeah. That's the White Martians.
Yep.
So
HyperClan. Yep.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Although I'm sure they're not going to do it justice, but
hey, you never know.
You never know. I could be surprised.
There's only one of them going to be on. So.
Yeah. I'm kind of wondering about what's going to... We're supposed to have a couple of big stars on Supergirl coming up.
Mm-hmm. We're getting Terry Hatcher.
So Lois and Clark reunion?
Yeah.
I got to think that's got to happen.
Lois and Clark reunion is only a... I'm sorry. Anyway, Armek is the only one that's coming on, and he's on next week. So.
Okay.
HyperClan.
Yeah.
But the fact that he is coming on when there's a White Martian on, I'm assuming it's going to be part of that HyperClan.
I would think so. I think maybe they're going to add all the HyperClan at some point. And maybe that Terry
And they're
Hatcher,
just starting.
maybe Terry Hatcher will be part of the Hyper Clan.
You think? Is she going to eat frogs?
Well, she's apparently, yeah. Oh, let's hope not. Don't go there. If you're a Lois and Clark fan, you get the frog joke, I hope.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Let's not think about that too much.
Yeah, please not.
The worst. One of the worst storylines in history, I think.
Yeah. Oh, and I was just reading in SFX magazine that they had the showrunner, Lois and Clark.
Mm-hmm.
I forget her name, but she had an interview in there. It's the issue with Doctor Who on the cover, which is why I bought it. But, of course. But she'd said that apparently she didn't see what the big deal was with the frog the frog clone.
You're kidding me.
No. Apparently she thinks it's a big overreaction. And I'm like, really?
Kidding me.
Really? So,
Oh, my
it killed
God.
your show. And you don't think it's a big deal.
She is the worst.
Yeah.
She's the worst.
Yeah. Okay. So I just thought I'd bring that up because you brought up the frog thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Digression over.
All
right. So what's your
that's
rating?
worth digression.
Yep. So what's your rating for this one?
I'm choking on my bile. Hold on. I gave it 8 cosplay insults.
Okay, and we're in sync on this one. I give it 8 electric lassos.
Yeah, I thought it was good.
Livewire does this cool bit with their electricity and does a lasso thing out of it. Although,
awesome.
How that becomes tangible to pull somebody back, I have no idea.
Who knows?
But
yeah,
it's energy.
It was awesome.
It looked cool.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, so big hand wave there.
It was a great episode. Just less angst next time, please.
Yeah, please. All right, moving on.
Gotham. Okay, seriously, Gotham.
Episode 14 of the 3rd season.
Craziness. 314, The Gentle Art of Making Enemies.
Yeah, written by Seth Boston, who I'm not familiar with. He's a new writer to the show. Mm-hmm. Directed by Louis Shaw Malito.
Mm-hmm.
And what's our ABC?
Worked on The Mentalist, oddly enough.
Oh, did he?
Everybody has worked on The Mentalist because of Bruno Heller.
Oh.
He worked on The Mentalist.
Okay. I just know Bruno Heller from Rome.
Oh, okay. He recruits everybody from there.
Okay.
Okay.
And then all the casting comes from Law & Order Special Victims Unit.
Yes.
Because I know this because every time on Damn Good Coffee when I write up so-and-so was cast as so-and-so and I write up their bios of other previous work, 9 times out of 10 I'm typing Law & Order Special Victims Unit.
Mm-hmm. Look for The Mentalist from now on.
So if you're an actor and you want to get on a superhero TV show, get on Law & Order Special Victims Unit, even if it's canceled.
It used to be Star Trek. Star Trek The Next Generation or Star Trek Voyager.
Right.
But now we're a few years down the road and it's going to be like Law & Order or CSI or one of those.
Right.
Okay, so my story titles. No, Mr. Mayor, I expect you to die.
No, Mr. Mayor, I expect you to die.
Okay, thank you.
Goldfinger.
From where he's tied up on the car, obviously.
Yeah, I love that's one of my. I think that's probably my all-time favorite James Bond movie quote.
Yeah, it's so good.
It's the best quote.
That whole movie.
Gert Frobe as Goldfinger.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
B story is Moose out front should have told you. You know what that's from?
I don't know where that's from. Is it from Riverdale?
No.
Moose.
National Lampoon's Vacation. When they get to
Oh, right.
And John Candy tells them the moose out front should have told you they were closed.
Holiday Row.
The moose is saying they're closed, and he says the moose out front should have told you. And he ends up letting them into the park in order to ride all the rides.
Right. Good call.
Guess what that refers to?
Yeah.
Rome's Park. And then the C story, because there's really only 2 stories, this is like the little addendum. Let me be Frank.
Right.
Where Frank shows up and talks to his nephew.
Yeah, Frank Gordon.
Yeah.
The mysterious Gordon.
Let's get Let Me Be Frank out of the way real quick.
Okay.
Frank and Catherine are talking.
Because Frank, as we know, is a member of the Court of Owls because he's got the spiffy ring.
Right. And I'm assuming he was the guy sitting in the chair with Catherine.
Probably.
Last fall. And he and Catherine are discussing recruiting someone at the Court of the Owls headquarters.
Right.
And they're looking out the window, and there's explosions going off in the distance, and they're discussing whether they should intervene. And of course they shouldn't. Who cares if the city blows up? They'll take control once everything is settled.
Right.
I guess. That's their thing. As long as all the rich people are alive, who cares? And so she kind of sends him out. And once she sends him out, 5 comes in, all healed up and...
Yeah, the Bruce Wayne clone.
Right. And she's saying, how nice he looks and how many plans they have for him. And
how like Bruce Wayne you look. So now we can replace Bruce Wayne with you, and yeah, that whole...
right.
That old rehashed, overused storyline of the imposter.
Right.
Yeah.
However, we do know he will most likely become a Talon, so I am looking forward to that. And it looks like he's had some training as well. So
maybe he'll give Bruce somebody to fight, and they'll put him in the Talon suit, which will be a complete bodysuit so they can do a stunt double.
Right.
That way David Mazouz can fight himself. Yeah.
Right. And I do like how David Mazouz is progressing on the show as well.
Yeah, well, it helps that, as I mentioned on the podcast last week, that he's getting bigger, he's taller, I should say, and so he looks a little bit more imposing.
And he has been doing the work. His fighting skills have gotten really good.
Yep.
I mean, that is him fighting.
Right. Well,
or at least blocking.
Yeah.
The fights and stuff.
So there's progression there, at least.
Yeah.
Finally, we're at season 3. We should be seeing some progression, I would hope.
Yeah. Well, but I mean, he's doing a really good job. He is acting on a much higher level than his age, I think. And I think the same goes for most of the young actors on that show.
Right.
Okay, let's go to No Mr. Mayor, I Expect You to Die real quick. Oswald, Mayor Cobblepot. He is in denial through most of this episode until the very end. I am speculating. What do you think? How far do you think he's in denial?
Oswald is totally in denial over this. I think he's kind of blindsided by the Riddler, who has now pretty much become the Riddler.
Yeah.
At the end of the episode.
How far, though, do you think he is in denial? I mean, do you think he thinks he can convince him up until he gets shot at the end of the episode?
I think he does. I think
all the way to the end.
I think he feels that there's this connection there between him and Edward.
Mm-hmm.
And Edward doesn't see it that way.
It's gone.
And and this was kind of like confirmed by Corey Michael Smith on his Twitter feed.
Mm-hmm.
That basically it's just this one-sided relationship where the Penguin is attracted to the Riddler, but that feeling isn't mutual.
Right. And it might not even
be... the Riddler saw him as a friend.
Sure.
But Oswald saw more.
And I don't even know that Oswald knows what he's feeling, to be honest. The only relationships he's ever had have been like user relationships. Even the one with his mother, he used his mother without knowing it. His mother was just completely babying him his whole life. And he just he took and took and took from his mother. But everyone else in his life, it was the other way around. He used no one ever...
He hasn't had any normal relationships.
Right. So he has no idea what he feels.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. He's just completely emotionally stunted. So when he finds this person that he bonds with, and I do think they had a bond at one point.
Right.
He immediately has these deep emotions for him.
Yeah, he went all in with his emotions toward Edward.
Exactly.
And Edward just like, wait a minute, bro.
No. Yeah. And he's different. He's an adult. He is not stunted. He has had regular relationships. So he was just a bro.
And obviously the Penguin got jealous, which is why he killed the other Kringle.
Right.
You know,
and there's a mirror there as well. And I think in that last scene on the dock, there's a moment where...
Well, you know what that was? That was a nice throwback to the pilot.
Oh, yes.
Because
where
remember...
he gets shot, dumped in the water,
right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely. And the fact that he's going to come back out of the water.
So it's just like, oh man, I gotta go swim all the way back, and now I gotta find another fisherman that's just sitting there on the side of the dock and kill him, and oh, here we go again.
He's not gonna die, that's for sure. So yeah, there's a moment there on the dock where I think Ed is realizing some things, and it's not enough to pull him out of it. First of all, Oswald is saying things that make him think, you know, you're right. I might not be the person I am right now if it wasn't for you.
Right.
Because of there were times where they did have that bond. But also, he's seeing that mirror where he killed the first Kringle. And he's thinking, yeah, I kind of see myself in you. So I got to punish you for both.
Oh, you think
right?
to take it out on... to take his self-hatred out on the Penguin.
Right. So maybe both of those sins can be absolved at the same time.
That's an interesting theory.
And that, I think he kind of pulled himself up short when he was seeing that on the dock. There was something that was said, and I can't remember now because I didn't rewatch Gotham today.
See, the way I took it, though, I took it as that... his relationship with the Kringle clone, and I apologize, I can't remember her name.
Isabella,
thank you. I'm just like the Penguin. I can't remember her name. And Isabella. So I think the Riddler was like putting all of his hopes on redemption because I could be with Isabella. It's like Kringle's murder never happened. I can start over. It's wipe the slate clean. And then along comes the Penguin, kills Isabella, and that just destroys his chance at redemption.
Right.
So now he's angry about that. That's the way I took it.
Sure. And yeah, that's it. And the fact that he feels like he was in love with her, which he might not have been really, who knows. But I do think he saw a mirror in that, you know, that he also killed a Kringle.
And the Penguin kept telling him, well, look, you know, if you had stayed with her, you would have killed her anyway.
Right. Oh, that's the line.
Right.
He reminds him that he killed the other girl. And there was a moment where he kind of stops short and looks uncertain. He's still holding the gun on Oswald, but he's kind of like, yeah, I did kill her, didn't I? And I think at that point he was like, well, if I kill him, both sins are gone. So yeah, I do think there's a little bit of that, but most of it is just vengeance. I gotta get rid of him. That's it. I'm done. And this is the only way. So kills him, pushes him into the water. That's it.
Yeah.
And I also like the moment where they bring him to the bar and he is with Butch, and first of all, Butch knocks him out, and
I love that scene.
Tabitha says, "Now you know you're gonna have to carry him."
Yeah, goes, idiot. He's like, God, don't.
That was hilarious.
I love that scene. That was hilarious.
I love their coupley banter.
And it was a very like real moment.
Yes, it was.
One of the few real moments you'll see on Gotham.
I know, because that show is not real at all.
No, it's just complete camp and just.
But it was so cute, wasn't it?
But it was just like a very real. Well, it's kind of a real thing because you have people that get knocked out,
right?
And then you're like, the practicality of it is like, well, I guess I have to pick this person up.
Someone has to carry them, right?
Yeah, and I'm glad to see some they actually acknowledge something like that
right.
for once.
It was great.
Yeah,
instead
of they didn't go for the hand wave on that one. And
right.
I love it.
I get it. Hand wave. Tabitha, but
see what it did there?
I see what you did there. Because they both are missing a hand.
You missed me.
I did. Okay, so they get him back to where they're all standing around and he's talking to Tabs and Babs and Butch, and they're kind of teasing him and telling him that he's not in charge anymore, and then the reveal that they're actually working with Ed, and he feels completely betrayed.
He does not. He's completely blindsided by that.
Yeah.
He didn't expect that they would all be united against him, even though he treated all of them like crap.
Right. And I think it's the first big blow in this episode. First of all, knowing that Ed is mad at him was one blow. But
he's hurt by that. But then the idea that Ed teamed up with Stabby Babs
to go against him.
Yeah.
Right. That means he was plotting against him, and that's huge.
Right.
So there's that. And then, of course, the scene on the docks.
Yep.
For now,
yes.
It looks like he's dead.
Yeah, and next week we get the Riddler in his green suit. Or not next week, I'm sorry. Because Gotham will be back at the end, in April 15th or 18th or something.
Something, yeah.
But, we have to wait until April because Fox, in their infinite stupidity, wants to trot out a couple of shows in that time slot.
24 and what?
That APB thing.
APB, yeah.
Which looks horrible.
It does.
And horribly dumb.
And we don't need another 24, right?
No, we don't.
Yeah.
It's just going to pale in comparison, but we're just trying to, it's 24 the next generation.
It kind of is.
Right? So.
And it could be a summer show, as far as I'm concerned, right?
But apparently, we want to do that because it makes no sense because Fox actually gets really solid ratings with Gotham and Lucifer.
I know.
They're not the best ratings, but they're consistent.
They're solid, yeah.
They're solid, and they're stable. And we're going to screw all that up because we're Fox.
Right.
So another reason to be glad that Black Lightning is with the CW.
Yeah, exactly.
Which almost ended up on Fox, but Fox is like, we don't want that.
Pass. Thank you.
Yeah.
So I can't believe we're breaking either. It's bothering me. Especially with Lucifer.
Especially with Lucifer. But we'll get into that here in a minute.
We'll get to that too. Okay. Now, with the big story, and this was a story that thrilled me to no end. And I'm sorry, but this whole Joker and Batman story.
Yeah, basically it was Bruce and Jerome in the proto Batman versus Joker relationship.
Okay, man. First of all, can I just say I'm hating Lee right now so hard?
Yeah.
Because she knew already where Jerome was planning to go.
Right.
He said the last thing that he remembered was wanting to kill Bruce. And she just goes around with this information without telling anyone.
Because she's all pissed off at Gordon, yes.
At Gordon.
Yeah.
Hello? She's not mad at Bruce.
Just all of a sudden, Lee just flipped to the dark side, and she's locked in there. I don't know why.
What is her problem?
They ruined a perfectly good character.
It kind of did.
With this stupid, Mario Falcone storyline.
Yeah. It's dumb.
It is very dumb, and I wish they'd abandoned it and have her get over it already.
Right. She knows that Mario wouldn't have come back from that, right? So dumb.
Yeah.
So she keeps that from him, and then all of a sudden when they're talking and she's all rude to him, to James, she says, oh, and by the way, he might have been going to see Bruce Gordon because he said the last thing he remembered was trying to kill him. Really? Okay. James is frustrated, just completely frustrated by this information. Why didn't you tell me sooner? Because it was a day ago, right? Or something. Before the power went out.
Right.
And she's, treating all these people. And I'm thinking to myself, you would have less people to treat if you had told him this ahead of time, because they could have found Jerome before he had more mayhem happen.
Right. I hate that we're hating Lee here in season 3 the way we hated Barbara in season 1.
In season 1. I agree. I'm loving Barbara.
Because she's written so poorly.
Yeah, I know. Actually, you know what? She's not written as poorly as Barbara was in season 1.
No, Barbara was written horribly.
Right, because there is actually a reason
Because
for
they
this
had no
behavior.
idea what to do with Barbara.
Right.
And
There,
then they came up with the whole, like, well, let's make her insane and like a crazy killer.
and she's great.
And she's great at it.
Right, and there's a reason for that. Now, mind you, there's a reason for this behavior with Lee, but it's just vindictive and nasty.
Yeah.
I don't like her.
Yeah. There's nothing redeemable in this.
Right. Right. And she's not shades of gray. She's literally just two-dimensional right now.
Yeah.
So
I don't want to see Lee become evil. I don't want her to see her team up with Stabby Babs and Tabitha.
no, I just want her to get over it.
Yeah.
Be
Move
done.
on.
Right. She doesn't need a meteor storyline by becoming bad. It's not necessary.
So let's talk about the good stuff. Jerome.
Yes, let's do. Well, Jerome has already made it to the Bat House.
Right.
Now, what was the deal with the phone? Were they calling to distract Alfred or something? Because remember, the phone rang, and that's what did something.
I think it was a distraction.
Yeah. So it distracted him, but Alfred did realize there was someone in the room with them.
Right.
And it wasn't quite fast enough to act, and they take him out.
They also take out that owl statue.
Right? I'm so mad about that owl statue being broken. We'll have to find out if that damages it irreparably or not, because why would they introduce it and then just destroy it in the next
just to yank it away
episode?
Unless there's something inside of it.
Maybe there was a chip inside of it.
That's what I'm thinking, that now that they broke it, they found whatever is inside.
Right. Let's hope so.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing that I loved about this scene is that they take out Alfred, and which I didn't love. However, it means that Bruce steps up 100% to talk to Jerome. And he really does employ a tactic that I dug. He knows that Jerome's going to see through this tactic 100%, but he also knows that Jerome is not going to be able to resist it.
Right.
And he says, look, you're a showman. If you take me out here, you're not going to get any attention. I'm Bruce Wayne.
Yep.
I'm rich. Everybody knows me.
I'm Bruce Wayne, bitch.
Right. Why would you take me out in my house and not get any attention from it? Why would you do that? This guy, Dwight, that you just killed, he was all over the TV.
And Jerome is thinking this over, going, let me think this over.
And he says to himself,
let's go somewhere else. And then he takes him to the circus.
Right. He actually says out loud, though, I know you're just trying to delay me, but you make sense. I do need to do that. So let's go to my theme park.
Yes.
And he's got all kinds of weirdness happening. A guy that he wants.
It's like an amusement park where there's like water cannons and people are being pelted with stuff in the water cannons, or there's like a whack-a-mole and it's actually people's human heads sticking out of the whack-a-mole.
Right.
And then they get pummeled by Jerome.
Yep. And the guy that he dunks into a tank of piranhas.
Yep.
Which is gross. But he puts clown makeup on Bruce and he tortures him a little bit.
Yeah.
The scene where he is stapling his face back on a little bit and Bruce taunts him about it, asks him if it hurts.
Yeah.
And then
that was a very Batman move, and I'll tell you why. Yeah. Because he knows that Jerome is going to do something to him in response.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he didn't know that he wouldn't just put staples in his face.
Right.
But instead, Jerome takes out the staple gun and starts putting it down his arm.
Right.
Until it makes Bruce hurt.
Right.
He just puts one in, Bruce doesn't react. 2, he kind of starts to react, but not really. 3rd one, it really bothers him.
Right.
And all this turns out to be this magnificent ploy by Bruce, and this is where Batman starts to emerge.
Right.
The Dark Knight rises a little bit because he takes one of those staples and uses it he stretches it out to unlock his handcuffs.
Yep. A good plan.
Yep. Now he's not that proficient about unlocking handcuffs yet.
No.
Because he struggles with it.
Yeah.
He needs to meet up with Mr. Miracle and learn how to escape from stuff.
I'm guessing this is something he kind of learned with Selena.
I would think.
Yeah,
when they were on the streets, maybe to learn how to unlock handcuffs.
Yeah, but maybe not ones that he's in under duress.
Right.
Right.
And, yeah, because he is under. You were like you said, he's under duress, so he's doesn't quite have his escape act down, but he does get out of the handcuffs.
Right. He does. And this, again, like you said, it's a Batman move, and you can see this is what I love about this episode so much, is that it's literally Batman starting.
Batman Begins. See what I did there?
It's the beginning of Joker, and it's the beginning of Batman in this episode.
I'm going to laugh if someone shoots Jerome in the head and his head just splatters, and that's not the Joker.
Well, even if it's not,
yeah,
it's the Joker that starts that Joker Batman conflict.
Clash.
Right.
But the other Batman scene that I thought was in the little hall of mirrors, and there's a big standoff between Bruce and Jerome.
Mm-hmm.
And Bruce does this speech. He tries to be all intimidating, but he's wearing the clown makeup. And all he had to do was wipe that off, and he'd be a lot more intimidating when he made this speech.
Right. But he forgets. I think he forgets.
Yeah, but all he did to take a second and wipe that crap off. And then Bruce and Jerome are fighting.
Right.
And Bruce is just pummeling the crap out of him.
Mm-hmm. Great fight.
Boom, boom,
and the
face gets dislodged, and it gets all stretched out because it gets all in a bigger grin because it's all been warped.
It's gross.
It's off. Yeah. It's off centered. So, and then it just turns into this big bloody pile of mess.
Right.
And it's just terrific. And then Bruce looks in the mirror, and he stops himself because he sees what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of when he develops his code against killing, which I thought was important, really important.
Well, it's even deeper than that, I think, because he still has the makeup on. And this is why they don't take the makeup off, I think. First of all, he has a shard of glass, which is a piece of a mirror.
Right.
Right? He looks up, he looks in the mirror, he's still got the makeup on, so he sees the Joker in the mirror. You know, he's got Joker makeup on. And he says, I don't want to be like him. Right? Which is the Batman. I mean, that's what Batman does. He doesn't want to be like the criminal. That's his whole code.
Right.
Is I don't want to cross that line from vigilante to criminal. And he decides, I can't be him. You know, he was going to kill me.
Right.
I'm not going to kill him. So... yeah, that's where it ends.
I thought it was a big, huge step forward for the show.
Huge step. And so he leaves, and when he comes outside, Gordon's out there, Harvey's out there, and Jerome comes stumbling out with that same shard, the mirror shard,
ready to keep going.
Yep. And the face is hanging off.
Yeah, and then Gordon, of course, has to come in and punch his face completely off.
Clear off.
And it goes flying in this big thud.
Gross. It's just gross.
Thanks a lot, Jimbo.
They're going to take him and put the face back on.
Yep. Yeah, they made a comment of well, we were able to attach his face back on.
Yeah.
Because of continuity, and it's going to look perfect. Because it's, it's Gotham.
He's still going to have those scars, though, but...
Or will he?
No, well, he will.
He should.
Yeah, he will.
We'll see.
And also a thing about that scene with the staples was, I think it was a very apt kind of a representation for how he's becoming Batman, where it shows, if he were Batman, he wouldn't flinch with all three of them. He would just let it keep going.
Right.
But he's not Batman yet, so he has to flinch. And I think that's a real representation of where they are with him. They're still,
Well, he still needs to do some serious training overseas. So
yeah, sure.
he's not there yet.
Right. But I mean, I really think that they were hammering it home.
Now if we could just get him in the cave, the actual cave with bats.
I know, right?
That should have happened already. He should have already found that damn cave because they went down there.
I know.
And, yeah.
It'll happen. Don't worry about it.
I want him to be walking along the Wayne grounds and fall through, and he's in the cave.
It'll happen.
It needs to happen now.
Don't worry about it.
All right.
He can still be scared by that. And I also the scene at the end with Alfred, and Alfred is saying, "You already have a code. It's just you need to clarify it." And him saying, okay, one of the things is I'm not going to kill. And right there, you just know, hello, Batman.
Yep. That was that was just
Oh.
It was huge. And it's like, good. They do it.
Right?
It's like, finally, we're getting somewhere.
Yeah, this episode was just groundbreaking.
2.5 seasons in, we finally get some real progression on that.
Now, again, mind you, I don't think of this show as a Batman show. I think of this as a Gotham, the city show.
Right.
However, to get Batman, it was like I was fangirling through this whole episode. It was so great. And like I was saying, just as a little thing before we give our ratings, all the actors on this show were amazing, but seeing, what's his name? Cameron
Monaghan, yeah.
And David Massou's acting against each other, wow. They were just magnetic together in this episode, I thought.
Yeah.
At least I thought so. I don't know whether you did or not.
You definitely got this whole, like, that Batman versus the Joker vibe that you want from this show. Like, if you're gonna do the proto Joker, and you're gonna have young Bruce Wayne, that's the vibe you want.
Right. I think they really did a great job.
So, yeah.
I really do.
And they didn't kill Jerome again.
No, they didn't.
Because, like, hey, we learned a lesson. Maybe we shouldn't kill him off.
Right. Yeah, although I think they brought him back at a good time. Yeah. Bruce was at a good place.
So we'll just keep him away for a while. Don't bring him back too soon.
Right.
Make people wait. Give a little anticipation.
Well, and honestly, let Bruce be ready for him.
Right. And then at the completely wrong moment, then bring him back. Right?
You're so funny. All right, so what did you give this one?
I enjoyed this one quite a bit for Gotham. It really, Gotham, it doesn't, like, obviously it's his own entity. It's an Elseworld, basically. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it goes in weird places, but sometimes when it goes really weird places, that's when it finds its voice. And this time it did. So I gave it 9 out of 10 dislodged faces.
Yeah. I really love this episode. Like I said, just everything about it. This was so close to perfect for me. I fangirled, like I said. So I give it 9.5 puddles of mud. I guess with a face in it.
Right.
Because gross. Yeah. Splat.
Yeah.
Okay, so on to Lucifer.
And in the 8 o'clock hour. Eastern
I know,
Time.
right?
Right.
It's so gross for an 8 o'clock hour show. I love it, actually.
It is great.
Okay, so the hour after that, 9 p.m.
Yes.
Just as grisly a show.
Sometimes.
Yeah, not this one. Lucifer 2:13, A Good Day to Die.
Today is a good day to die.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a Worf fan.
Yeah.
And
or any Klingon, really.
Yeah, really. But that was his line, Today is a good day to die.
To die.
Yes. Written by Joe Henderson and Chris Rafferty. Directed by Ulrich Riley.
Okay.
So, what's her A, B, and C? Ulrich. I have a cunning plan. Oh, that's Baldrick. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Baldrick.
From Blackadder. Yeah.
Blackadder.
That makes me smile just thinking about it.
I know. I have the complete Blackadder.
I do too.
Okay, A story. To Hell and Back. That was a no-brainer.
Right.
B story, the lady or the tiger? Do you know that parable?
Yes, I do know that parable.
Okay. To pick the door, either
Yes.
the lady or the
Yep.
tiger.
Yep.
And of course, the lady being his mother.
I like the C story title.
Okay. Well, there's more than one.
Yeah.
But Hell's Test Kitchen.
I like that a lot.
And that would be them going to get all the ingredients.
Right.
Goodbye to You.
Goodbye to you. Whoa.
And that might be the end of
Scandal.
the episode. Right?
Yeah.
And then A Brother's Word, which is simply Uriel. What is that clue that he's trying to get?
Yeah, the piece is here. We'll talk about that.
We don't really have to. He just said the piece is here. What does that mean?
Well, just real quick, Lucifer took it as the peace, as in the opposite of war.
Right.
Peace, P-E-A-C-E.
Right.
Now, my question is, what if it's just P-I-E-C-E?
Right.
As in a piece of pie or, a piece of something.
Right.
So the
In that
piece is
church?
here. Something. Yes, there's something in there that goes into something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's part of something.
Or is here in L.A. or
Yeah.
who knows?
Yeah, but that's my guess.
Right.
It's an object that needs to be found.
Okay, so to Hell and Back, obviously, is Chloe. Chloe's dying.
Yeah, basically this is the Chloe gets written out for an episode.
Yeah. Right.
Right?
Although there is some acting on her part.
Not a lot, though.
No, not a lot.
All the heavy lifting is basically Lucifer, Charlotte, and Dr. Linda.
Hey, and Amenadiel.
And Amenadiel a little bit.
He does some acting there.
Yeah, he does. But
with Trixie, who's so cute.
We do get our first meeting with Amenadiel and Trixie, which makes everything better when Trixie's on board.
And how awesome is that slow-mo scene with the really dramatic song where he's holding back all the guards from going into... And I'm not kidding, I love that scene.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I like
that.
Back all the guards. Basically, he's just like, you're not getting through me. So...
He was fantastic.
And the fact that we got to hear Run DMC's It's Tricky.
It's tricky.
It's tricky to rock around. That's right on time. It's tricky. Tricky. Yeah. So, love that.
Yeah. Okay, so Lucifer has this plan that he gets, and he says, okay, well, the doctor has the ingredients. First of all, he and Dan go to talk to this guy who apparently was the guy that was smuggling the formulas. And he is an artist. Right, I'm using the air quotes right now. Artist who...
With laser beams.
Right. And he might as well have been painting with laser beams because that art was horrific.
Right.
And he's using his art to launder money. So they go to see him. And I love that Dan says, don't do anything until I tell you to. And Lucifer says, my word is my bond. And Dan doesn't get that he means that.
Right.
So Dan goes off the handle and gets himself in trouble and gets beat up. And Lucifer finally says, so what do we do now at one point? And Dan says, I don't know. I messed up. I got us in trouble. He says, so this isn't some plan? No, it's not a plan. Oh, why didn't you say so? And he gets himself out. And I love that part. And Dan's all mad. He's like, you mean you could have gotten us out all this time? Yes, of course I could. But you told me not to do anything. Dan's so frustrated. But, for once he was actually trying to work with Dan and not, against him. It was just a humorous scene, I thought. So they end up getting the information out of this guy that he doesn't know the formula. He doesn't have the formula. Only the doctor did because it's all in his head. And, of course, the doctor's dead. Lucifer gets this light bulb above his head. Well, I know where the doctor is.
Light bulb.
That's right. So I guess I better go down there and find him. The doctor's in hell, so...
Yeah, he's like, don't. I gotta go to hell just to get this antidote.
Right.
To save
I
Chloe.
mean, yeah. What would you do for the girl you love?
Yeah.
Go to hell.
Yep.
So he decides he's going to die and go to hell and have Dr. Linda save him. And in order to do this, he's going to be in the hospital room above Chloe,
Right.
so that he's close enough to be vulnerable. And he has to, cordon himself off and do that. And I love the scene also where he says, "Who wants to kill me?" And both Amenadiel and Maze hold their hands up real quick. But Amenadiel decides he's going to watch Chloe, and Maze and Dr. Linda accompany him. Maze ends up killing him, and Dr. Linda's there in order to save him. He goes to hell. He gets the formula. And then he is lured into a room with Uriel, where he is forced to stab him over and over.
It's Christopher.
Christopher.
Yeah.
Yehovah. Again, with my Christopher impression. I'm sorry. I can't help it. Hooah. So, yeah, and this is where we get that line where he says, the piece is here.
The piece is here, yeah.
And, of course, it's Lucifer remembering. It's not actually Uriel saying it. It's Lucifer remembering the experience.
Problem is, though, he ends up getting stuck in this loop where Lucifer ends up having to, he can't help but stab. He's reliving his guilt over and over of stabbing Uriel.
Yeah, remind you of the preacher?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
But then, same authors, right?
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
You're thinking Neil Gaiman versus Garth Ennis.
Yeah, I'm talking about Lucifer.
Yeah. That was Mike Carey.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay, well, same authors, same editors.
Yeah, same editors, but still.
Vertigo,
yes. Same imprint, yes.
Yeah.
But, so he's reliving all this guilt over and over. He's stuck, so then everybody else is like, well, Lucifer should have been back by now.
Right.
I guess we got to go in after him.
But Maze can't because she doesn't have a soul.
Right, she's a demon.
Dr. Linda can't because...
Dr. Linda wants to. She's like, I'll do it.
But she's not going to hell if she dies.
Maze is like, no way. Girlfriend, you're not going in there.
Right. Well, I doubt that she would go to hell. I really do.
So then Charlotte walks in.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, yes!
Right. Now, I have to say, how did she know when to walk in? Was she just waiting there outside the door?
That's what I kind of wonder. Is like, she's kind of there with a glass on the door going, listening in.
I'll go. So she comes in and she volunteers. And, okay, can I not love this scene anymore? When she says, so how am I going to do it? And
Maze shocks her and kills her. Right away. Zero hesitation.
Right.
That was the best.
And she just falls right over.
Yeah, that was great.
I dig that so much.
I love that too. That was great.
And Dr. Linda is like agape.
Yeah. She's got to be thinking like, okay, my license is completely out the window.
Right.
I am so screwed right now.
It's so great. She goes down to save him. She ends up saving him by, telling him that Chloe is more important than this guilt you have.
Right.
However, she wants to stay with Uriel and be a happy family.
Right.
So Lucifer ends up dragging her out.
But there is an important part here because Charlotte ends up admitting that she's been manipulating Lucifer.
Mm-hmm.
And ever since she got back, and she's been trying to make him upset at his father, trying to use him against his father.
Right.
And but then she says, all I've done is made it worse.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is 100% true.
Right.
Plus, she is.
So it's almost like she's under some spell, compelled to tell the truth here.
Right. In hell.
Like Wonder Woman's lasso of truth.
Right. Right. Well, maybe in hell things come out that
maybe.
We
have to confront your sins.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Exactly. So he ends up pulling her out to dramatic operatic music.
Yes.
And Linda revives both of them, I guess.
Linda goes crazy with those shock paddles.
Right? She does. And in that
She's jump
scene,
starting everybody. Cha-chung, cha-chung. Yes.
yeah, it's the same montage where
And you got Amenadiel blocking the door because the cops are
right?
trying to break in. They know something's up.
Exactly. And it is dramatic music, and the music is called Unsteady by the Ex-Ambassadors, and it's amazing. It's an amazing song if you want to listen to it.
Not as good as It's Tricky, though. Just saying.
It's better than It's Tricky.
Nothing is better than It's Tricky.
It is. That song is amazing. And I love D.B. Woodside in that scene, just picking off all the guards one by one, like they're gnats attached to his arms. It was great. So they finally get in there and they give the antidote to Chloe, and she comes back to life and everything's happy. And she wants to take up where they left off with Lucifer. And Lucifer kind of puts her off.
Yeah, because Lucifer has been under this because of the whole business with the last week with the picture. He's under the impression that none of their relationship is real.
Right. Well, he doesn't know.
He doesn't know who to trust at this point.
Right. And that's his sticking point. He doesn't know whether she's being compelled.
Right. This is
to
also
feel this way for her,
part of the plan by dear old dad.
Right. So he kind of puts her off, which makes me sad. He says, we'll talk about it. And then he walks out. And at least he's not cruel to her.
No, but in his head out the door, he's probably going, and I'm done.
Right. Exactly.
Because as we find out, Chloe keeps trying to text message Lucifer. He's not responding, so she goes over to Lux looking for him.
How afraid were you that she was going to show up and he was going to be with other women?
I did not. I wasn't. I didn't think that was going to happen.
That was my first thought.
I didn't think so.
Actually. But she shows up and he is Gone.
Yep.
Gone.
Yep. The furniture is covered up.
Yep.
So, yep.
We'll find out where he is. And it's going to be a long time before we find out where he is.
Yes, because again, thanks to Fox's wonderful program scheduling, Lucifer's not back until May 1st.
Right.
Great. So May.
I know. A couple weeks after Gotham.
Yeah. So at the time most shows are wrapping up their seasons, Lucifer still has, 9 episodes to go.
Right.
So we'll be getting Lucifer in the summertime.
Which is okay with me, but
right.
This is going to be irritating.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Seriously,
again, what the hell is Fox thinking?
Right. I don't know. Yeah. And then we get this little part where we learn a little bit about Ella's background.
Right.
With her brother. She's breaking in with Dan to get some weird ingredients that they need for the antidote, and she hooks up with her
brother.
Her brother.
Yeah.
Who is a thief. And we learn a little bit about her background, and it was interesting, but it was kind of lost in all the other storylines. I would have liked to have this be in another episode where we get to expand on it. So
maybe we'll get an Ella spotlight episode at some point.
I would like to do that. I mean, if they're going to include her in more of these episodes, it would be good to learn about her.
Right.
So, and we also had a scene between Amenadiel and Dr. Linda. And now, mind you, everyone else was in the room, but this is the first time we've had a scene between the two of them where he knows that Dr. Linda knows.
Right.
And he said something, have we now started letting humans know about all this? And he's all testy about it. And she's like, and I could say the same for you. So they're like back and forth on it, which was interesting. Because she's still mad that he said he was a doctor and he wasn't.
Yeah,
so.
He played her. Yeah, she's still a little bothered by that.
Right. Well, she could have lost her license giving out patient information and all that. So, that was a nice little dig at each other about that. So, and now, of course, she knows the whole family that has been here. She never met Uriel, but she knows everybody who's on Earth, I think.
Has she met Trixie? I think she's met Trixie.
Yeah.
Okay, she's met Trixie. All right.
She's met Trixie.
Okay.
All right. So what did you give this one?
I thought this was good. It's I don't know. I just thought it was missing something a little bit, maybe because of Chloe being sidelined for most of the episode. So I gave it 8 out of 10 shock paddles. Decent episode, not the greatest in my opinion.
Well, I really liked it, mostly because of the little moments.
Right.
There was some really good acting, I thought, in it, and Tom Ellis did such a great job with this. And I like how they portray hell in Lucifer, and
all blurry,
squiggly lines and everything tilty and all that.
With snow.
Right. The directing is very cool. Yeah. And this episode really, and the testing of people in this episode was interesting. I thought, making everyone go through a test of their resolve. So I gave it 9 Roberta Flack songs because Uriel was playing Killing Me Softly on the piano.
I did not catch that, but
as Lucifer walked in.
That's a good catch. I like
Killing
that.
Me softly with his words.
Very nice. Very nice.
So.
All right. So that's about does it for part A-1 or whatever you want to call it.
That's right.
So shall we say goodbye for now?
Goodbye to you. Goodbye.
Whoa.
Yeah. So let's do this, and we'll be back with part 2.
Come back for part 2, guys. Jerome.